This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 228 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. I'm your host and horror movie dude of the podcast, Eric Getty Gettinger. I want you to know that I have so many spooky games that I want to play this October, so prepare your minds for terror. Are you prepared? With me is multiple man of the podcast, Alex Arona.
You know, I like that. I like being multiple man. I have a detective agency. You never know which one of me is the real and which one's the dupe. Also, that wasn't me. That was Paul.
Alex,
it's clearly not me walking around in the background.
You can't make Marvel references like that because nobody at the MCU has decided to make that a character yet.
He was in something.
No.
He was in something.
He was probably in some X-Men movie that nobody wants to talk about, but
and at the same time, again, that I was sitting in the chair talking to you.
Dude, it's your lie. You tell it. Just
I don't know what you're referring to.
Let me hop over to Aquatic Explorer of the for the podcast this week. Joel, do it.
I sell submarine and submarine accessories.
I don't know if that was convincing, but thank you. Last one up is the original Starfax. Guys, I'm having a day. The original Star Fox in all his pixelated glory. Alec Parks.
Do a barrel roll, Getty.
Just kidding.
That wasn't even a barrel roll.
I know. I should have just fallen out of my chair and called it a week.
I'm pretty sure it actually goes.
That's one way to say it. Alright, this week we are under attack in early adopters. I'm trying to get Alex to slow jam the news again, and I feel like that's not going to go well. And
I still don't know what that reference is.
We'll finally hand in our homework for Subnautica while getting our homework for what?
Subnautica.
It's Subnautical now. Bam. While handing in our no, we're gonna get homework for October. So you give homework and then you get homework. I hope you're happy. You don't have to be happy.
That's okay.
Yep. Let's go to early adopters where we play alphas, betas, and games that got us cleaning up after everyone.
Was that your original intro? I rewrote it twice.
Did you?
Only because I changed it because I was going to remove one of the games, and then Joel's like, no, I wanted that one. And I was like, oh, okay, then I'll put it back in. I don't remember what you wrote.
I honestly have no idea what I wrote at any point in time.
I think there's an undo button.
No. Don't undo anything. Just leave it.
I don't know. Joel's sending me YouTube videos right now.
Yeah, how does it feel?
Ew.
Why don't you click it?
Why you
did?
Don't do that. Stop. We have a podcast.
Podcasting.
We got a podcast.
We don't want him to slow jam the news.
Bore thousands of viewers. Thousands of viewers?
Thousands.
Oh, okay.
Thousands.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I'll get into this.
Okay, you get into that. Guys, let's talk about Crime Scene Cleaner. Let's talk about how I thought that this portion of my life was over and that I didn't need a game Notice I said need a game where I'm just doing regular everyday tasks. But then here comes Crime Scene Cleaner in all its first-person glory with a story. Guys, it's got a story. What a hook.
I mean, all of them have kind of had a story.
Not like this.
No, not an actual like thought of story instead of just you're the power wash guy or you're the lawnmower guy.
Getty, no, Joel, you did not play through Power Wash. You
He
don't
played
know about
through
time travel.
I played
portion of it.
enough.
You didn't know about the time travel.
Wait, there was time travel?
Okay, come on now.
You are.
No,
That's
I'm serious. You didn't,
yeah.
Getty.
Now send
Getty,
me the
time travel?
Send me the 5-part lore video that I have to watch to understand.
Getty, was there not time
everything
travel?
about it.
You are a mob guy who is cleaning houses for the mob boss. Well, at least so far as we got with this demo. But
Was it a mob boss? I thought it was just you are just a hired guy to clean up after murders.
he said boss. He said he was the boss. So
Oh,
I assume that this is your profession, and he alludes to the fact that his daughter is in some
sick.
type of situation, so he's got to do it. That's the hook right there.
Yeah, for like her treatment or something.
So it's the money is good, I guess, but you.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He was getting 10 G's, and I feel like I maybe would want more.
Do you really get to negotiate?
No, I guess not necessarily. But I mean, you said, is the money good? And I said, well, I don't know if that's good.
All right, how many of those houses would you have to flip or clean up after a year for it to be worth it for you then? Let's do the
It's
math.
not about how. It's more like I'm saying. I think that maybe 15 to 20 for how much I felt like I had to clean up in that house.
Okay. You finished the
Like
whole
you
house?
had to, like, because you had to go, like, you had to empty the pool.
Oh, man. So much
Let's go.
work.
Let's get into it. So, this is very much a
Cozy
house
game.
flipper, power wash mixed in with the viscera cleanup detail. That kind of where you're mopping up your blood, picking up bullet shells, putting them in garbage cans, disposing of bodies, really just cleaning up after some grisly stuff going on. There is a little bit of a morality mechanic. You can steal stuff and make extra money, but to a certain extent, you do have a meter that will that eventually, if you steal enough stuff, they will then get you in trouble, and they won't want to hire you anymore. So you'll get like fired or something. So because of that, you can steal like extra cash lying around. I know I did, and then you're doing the work, cleaning up and doing the thing. There are a couple of funny bits of mechanics there where viscera cleanup detail was a little too much detail.
Where you had to inventory every single thing that you picked up on the notepad?
Exactly. But in this case, much like viscera cleanup detail, it does include like, oh, your bucket will get dirty and you have to refill your bucket. And swapping out your bucket will leave more like mess that you have to mop up. So every time you fill up your bucket, you have to mop up after the bucket. You can leave footprints by stepping in blood and make more of a mess. There's a lot of things like that, but it's not. You don't have to catalog everything. So at least there's that.
It's all very fumbly, and I mean that in kind of a fun way, because everything that you have available to you, which is a power wash, you got a mop, a bucket, detergent, a garbage can to pick up trash with, and your mitts. But you choose that off a radial menu. For the power wash, you had to keep on refilling the power wash with more water, which was a bit of tedium I wasn't quite expecting. But like it's fiddly in that kind of fun, quirky kind of way. So I put the power wash to fill it from the tank, and then it just started spinning on an axis, just because. When I filled the bucket with water and went into the dining room area with the bucket of water, I dropped it and it tipped and spilled over.
Ooh.
Did it make a mess?
I mean, it was just water. over a pile of blood. I was surprised to discover the whole, like, if you mop it too much, it just gets to be a bloody mop.
That you're just spreading more blood everywhere?
Yeah. And so at that point, I had to step back and be like, well, how the hell do I clean this? You can't put it under the sink. And that went back to, like, me filling a bucket with water and then knocking it over with a mop. And so you have to be, like, weirdly a little bit cautious when you're moving some of this stuff around. But it fits that bill of kind of just like the calming, repetitive motion of cleaning things. But I liked that you have things like actual story critical things. You have to pick up evidence. The fact that you have to clean up that you have to clean up trash. Mm-hmm. And they'll have a certain number of trash in a room. But if you break things, it adds to the trash total you need to pick up, because you have to pick up everything you broke. Put away furniture and stuff that's been misplaced, so there will be chairs strewn about everywhere. You have to put them back where they belonged and have it look nice and everything. And the slow walk of dragging the body back to the truck. Your character always think. Reflect on what just happened. Mm-hmm. Your character always has like some nice little thoughts or anecdotes. Had an oh hi mark for one of the people that got killed. They have to drag away. But overall, I think they add just a little bit of a layer more on top of what I felt with Power Wash Simulator, where between seems like a few more tasks to do, but on top of that, like an actual premise of a story is kind of nice. And I think the concept of being the cleaner behind the murder, I think like John Wick post the first fight when the guy shows up. It's pretty cool. I like this game, and I wish listed it.
The other part I like is that, again, there's a difference between Viscera Cleanup Detail and Power Wash, where like one is just so simple that it's almost like hypnotic and sleepy, and then one is just super hardcore detailed, and I feel like there's a middle ground for it, and I think this hits that middle ground really nice.
I think that's pretty accurate.
I messaged you guys and I was like, okay, I played 10 minutes and I'm done with this game. I already wishlisted it. I don't need it anymore because I'm just gonna want to do this the entire thing.
For sure.
Like I want 4 levels in a row.
Same experience.
Yeah.
The sponge.
I didn't use a sponge. What was up with the sponge?
It was a scrub daddy.
It was a scrub, but he had a frowny face.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
I instantly was drawn to it. I was like, oh yeah, this was made for me. Nobody else.
I also like there was just like a button where you just like punch things.
Yep. And to punch down a door.
Oh, did you have to?
Yeah.
He chose to.
Oh, I didn't. You chose to.
It gave me the prompt to punch, so I punched.
Chose violence.
Was it how you got in the house?
I want to say it was the basement.
Okay.
I think the basement door was like partially broken, and I had to find my way through it, and it gave me the option to punch, so I punched.
What did you do, Getty?
I just did the pool area. I literally played for the 15 minutes. Was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was too good.
Yeah. That's how I felt.
The story, it hooked me. I was like, oh, come on. I thought I was just going to go in, clean up some stuff, and that was going to be the end of it.
It's a little too, like, on the nose. It's like, oh, a mafia cleanup guy with a heart of gold.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the problem.
No.
It's better than you telling me, oh, I'm a power wash cleaner, and suddenly I'm in outer space. Like, that, sorry. It'd be nice to have an actual narrative to this.
It kind of happens like that.
There's organic pieces to it. There is like you stumble upon.
No, one of the missions
I don't.
It's literally just clean the Mars rover. Like there's no context for how you get to Mars. It's just like clean it.
Did you not read the text?
What do you? So you get text messages, but. The stuff
there's a whole story.
It's a special map. It's not a story. It's not part of the main.
Alec, what did you think of this game?
I didn't get a chance to play it because it was gone.
Oh, you
zing!
You B-word.
Take that, Alex. It's nothing wrong with him trying to get to the games. They'll disappear,
this is
though.
a Linux thing.
We have
Is it
to
a Linux thing, Alex?
No, it was. I've been trying to do Subnautica, so I didn't get to these games till this morning.
You know, that's fair. Subnautica was first. That's fine.
Good. Thank you. What else? What else did we play? We played Urban Explorers. Who played Urban Explorers with me?
I requested the access. They never granted it to me.
Yeah, I requested it a while ago.
Who played Urban? Nobody played Urban Explorers with me? Okay.
No,
I
you're
tried.
flying solo.
That's fine.
I tried.
We'll circle back to Urban Explorers. I feel like you guys might get in for next week. But suffice to say, I hope you like sneaking and creeping.
I'm only creeping and sneaking.
And running from dogs, it looks like.
You do stuff.
And things.
And parkour.
Parkour!
Oh, parkour.
Hardcore parkour.
Parkour.
So I guess we didn't play Urban Explorers, but you know what we did play, and I also wish-listed instantly?
Yep.
AngelStruck. Whoa.
I was saying AngelStruck.
I'm having a day, okay, man?
Did I play the wrong game?
I haven't pronounced any of the games. Well, maybe one of the games correct so far. AngelStruck.
In case you're curious, there is no AngelStruck.
And I had trouble finding this one originally. I typed it into Steam, and it did not want to come up. So, grazie.
Copywriting the name AngelStruck. And
who put in the link to the store. So
I did.
Well, thank you for that. Bullet hell.
Yes.
I don't. Sure. I don't necessarily. Well, hold on.
See, if you have to think about it.
It's a missile command like.
I didn't get to the part where that bullet hell starts. How about that?
The boss fight?
Yes.
Okay.
I died several times before that. And then I said, okay, that's cool.
I consistently made it to that boss fight, and then was just raking in the crystals or coins or whatever to upgrade the character. And I feel like if I had continued to play, then I could have finished this first boss in the demo. But I liked it so much.
Let's talk about this.
Okay.
AngelStruck is you're a character at the bottom of a screen who can run left or right on this very limited platform, and you're shooting up. And you can pick the direction you can aim, but essentially you're shooting up at demons coming down.
I was shooting down sometimes, Alex.
Well, I was shooting left and right sometimes. I never shot down underneath the platform, Getty.
They would creep.
Oh, weird.
Mm-hmm.
So you could shoot in all directions, but essentially you're running back and forth on this platform. You have a dash on a cooldown. You have a special secondary shot, depending on the gun. I assume there are multiple guns. I didn't know if the demo had multiple guns. I only had the one. And then there's active reload, meaning when you hit the reload, there'll be a gauge, and if you hit it in the sweet spot, it will reload automatically, and your next shot will be much faster.
But if you're just sitting there pumping the trigger, you accidentally reload when it's not ready.
Who's pumping the trigger? I just put on the auto fire.
It auto fire.
Oh, I was pumping the trigger.
There's a button for auto fire.
I know. I used it a couple of times. I just preferred.
I was talking to the audience.
I preferred the manual trigger.
That's fine.
He likes to feel the gun go click, click.
Yeah.
until it's empty. And then the other parts is that you level up, and when you level up, you will get a choice of 4 different perks, things like extra health, faster reload, more damage, little helpers that will come by and join you, a couple of the things, but for the most part, it was a lot. It was a good variation on what kind of perks you can get. I found that the perks were like I would see the same perk on the next level, but it would be a different mix of them. So it was never the same combination of them.
You could buy into it, and then there would be upgrades to supplement it, I believe. I recall getting like, you do more damage now, and it was like, you can also do more damage? And I was like, oh yeah, I'd like to do more damage.
Oh, really? You could buy that?
No, I just kept, leveling up.
You got another. Got it. Mm-hmm. You got another one. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And then it would have like the little gems at the bottom so you could see how many times you'd purchased into it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you could see your upgrade path.
Kind of. But it was randomized. Cool. The upgrades that would pop up would be randomized, so.
Yeah.
Now,
very cool.
In the store at the end of the level, when you're about to start, you could buy your upgrades there. And those are your persistent ones that take from run to run.
Yeah, so you could really have a good time on this, just hanging out.
I did, thank you.
When it's fully out, you can really have a good time with this, just hanging out and unlocking new perks and that last forever. From run to run.
Forever?
Forever, ever.
Oh, forever, ever.
Joel, how did you feel this compared to, like, say, a Vampire Survivors?
Why Vampire Survivors?
Because
where's the genetic tissue?
There's a small rogue element to it with the persistent upgrades.
Yeah, I was asking as the Vampire Survivor aficionado.
That's a wide net to bring both those in.
This made me more think of Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah.
I wasn't directly comparing it. I was saying is that as somebody who really likes Vampire Survivors, did you see any like features that might have been taken from it that you really liked from this one?
No, not really. I mean the card system stuff, I feel like that's been kind of a common thread anymore to sort of lay it out. Upgrades like cards, roguelite or roguelites have been in vogue for a long time now, it seems. Functionally, it's very good. It's interesting being sort of tethered to the floor, because I don't remember having a jump, right? You have a dash or a roll, but no jump.
Just the dash.
So being weighted down like that and just having to force sort of figuring out the angles. I don't know about you guys. I had the scatter shot, and I eventually got it updated so where it went from 3 to like shooting 6 at a time.
Yep.
And those waves were just oppressive. I also did not get to the boss in this.
I also like the fact that your dash would kill enemies.
Yeah.
So I use that pretty frequently.
And it feels good. Like the character's movement is slick. The dash has a nice bit of a roll kind of motion to it. Never felt like I was out of control or having trouble with it. So it's a well-made product. I don't know if it's quite my genre of interest, I guess.
It's not vampire-y enough.
Oh, the other thing that made me think of it was having auto fire.
No fair.
But for me, the one thing is that like part of a little bit trickier part about Vampire Survivors for me was that I felt like I couldn't really direct my shots, and so in this case I was like, well, at least I have a little bit more control. I felt directing where they went.
I feel like you would like the knives in Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, they weren't bad. I wonder if this will end up. I wonder if there's a way that you get to a Vampire Survivors level of ridiculousness, like ridiculously powerful in this game. I feel like more games should do that. Like you just become a wall of death.
Yeah, what I appreciated about Vampire Survivors is just being able to almost break the game. So, I approve of that.
I am become death.
I am the wall of death. You know this.
Yeah, well, you got to that part in Lies of P. I haven't started Lies of P yet.
Did you get it?
No. I guess step 1 is getting it, then step 2 is not.
Yeah, you should. If you're not gonna play it, then maybe you should just not play it.
No. Oh no, I'm gonna play it. But sure. I'm sticking to the vegetables, Getty. I'm on Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
halfway
what?
through?
2 more weeks.
Yeah, and then Spider-Man.
I love how this like high marquee AAA game is vegetables.
It's only vegetables in the way that like there's just too many good games, and I probably should just focus.
Mm-hmm.
He probably should.
Yeah.
But until then, we're gonna take a break. and see you on the other side. Oh, hey. Hey, News. Alex is definitely going to do the slow jam this week. Alex, you ready, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want another week to prepare? I feel like you watched 2 minutes of Jimmy Fallon and you think that you can do it, and I'm scared.
I'm going to tell you right now, 2 minutes of Jimmy Fallon's enough for anybody.
Well, I won't disagree with that, but...
You were staring off in space for a little bit there.
Yeah, I watched it.
But do you think you could do it?
Uh-huh.
You sure? I can hand you the reins, but if you...
No, wait, I'm not going to tell... I'll tell you the news and... Wait, I'm doing the Mad Libs. I'm doing the ad libs. I do the ad libs.
No.
So you say the news and then I do the ad libs. That's how it works.
Let's
So
news.
Daddy is the one that needs to prepare now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
News. Capcom's preparing for Monster Hunter 6 on Switch 2.
Oh, yeah, baby. Give it to me now.
That was weak. that was weak.
Nobody brought their A game on that one. Let me tell you, I'm very excited.
Effort.
I started playing...
Effort.
Daddy, how does it feel to be the Jimmy Fallon of this podcast?
Oh, it's so mean.
I mean, I could just get up and walk away.
That's like the meanest thing you
I
could
can
have said to
actually
somebody
get
on
up and
this
walk
show.
away. You guys don't need me.
I mean, at least you're not laughing at every bit.
I don't bring anything to this podcast.
You don't ruin the sketches. You don't ruin sketches.
Oh, I ruin everything.
I'm very excited for Monster Hunter 6, even though I just started Rise. I'm enjoying Rise quite a bit. And, I probably should have played it on the Switch, but it being on the Switch too, it's just more Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is cool just in general. I like when they come up with new monsters. I like seeing the classics, especially on new twists, the way they design the art, the weapons, the gear. And usually they do add a couple of new things to each game. And so now that I'm now wrapping my head around what's currently the new thing in Monster Hunter Rise, I'm excited to see what they got next.
So this is going to be a continuation of the overall series then. And do we know if it's only for Switch 2 or will it be on other platforms?
Well, if you look at the trend, the Monster Hunter series, the last two games have been a console specific, and then after about a year, we'll go to PC.
Okay.
So Rise was Switch, but Monster Hunter World was PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
well,
we'll probably go to a console first, which will be the Switch, and then it will be
Switch 2 already bringing in the heavy hitters.
Yeah, there's talk that, again, it's already gone to a bunch of developers, and that's the Capcom.
How many F-Zeros do they have planned for it?
99.
Oh, Joel, you tell him.
0 F-Zeros.
He said 99.
This is for the Jimmy Fallon comment, isn't it?
I am just a mean person. I don't know what to tell you. Activision once had plans for a Call of Duty theme park. That's enough of that. We don't need to discuss that at all.
Remember, no Russian.
But seriously, a Call of Duty theme park?
Yeah.
You go, it's just like sponsored by the Army?
I was about to say sponsored by the Army. Joel, there was, we went to, Fan Expo in Chicago. And at that con, they had like a gaming booth sponsored by the Army.
You know, it was, you straight up walked in and it was the Army. And they had Street Fighter on like four TVs. Yeah. They had Smash Brothers on another 4 TVs. And they were just, kids coming in. Just everybody wants to, and I think like a little bit further back, they had another, it might have been the Navy. They had a smaller, less fancy booth.
And usually they have my friend Kevin Fair doing the gaming booth, but the Army and the Navy paid their bucks for the gaming booth instead of my friend Kevin Fair. So he was not there, but it was very funny. They were also like, just give me your email and phone number. We'll get you all signed up. And at one point, Getty's cousin was with him, and he's like, "That's a pretty sweet looking shirt." And they're
It's
like,
my nephew.
He's
14.
Like, put whatever. The guy literally goes, "Put whatever you want on here. Don't. You don't even have to put a real email, and we'll give you the shirt."
You know what we did? Put my brother's email.
Oh.
And his phone number. And he's like, "We'll probably call you in like 3 months. You just tell us no." I'm waiting for the day that they call my brother like, "Hey, you were at this army booth?"
Gave you a free shirt.
What?
Now it's time you paid up.
Time to pay the piper.
Yeah, I just don't know what a Call of Duty... Like, I can imagine what a Call of Duty...
No, I know exactly what
I
it
mean,
is.
the entrance would have to be Normandy.
Well, that, but also, like, yeah, you could have different
There's
games...
only one
because
way to get there.
I've never really played... I haven't played a lot of Call of Duty, but from what I understand, they are pretty stylized per game. So you could have, like, a ghost section, which is that... where you're, like... We're a cybernetic soldier with like cybernetic powers and robot dogs, and then you could have like another section that is Black Ops, and you're doing like secret spy stuff, and then have a Normandy section. Like you could do it, right?
The only thing I can
Technically.
see is like a giant airsoft or paintball arena.
That would be part of it. They would definitely have ropes
But the VR
courses. They would.
But the Ghost, if you do the Call of Duty Ghost section, that would be VR.
Are you trying to sell this?
Like,
do you
like
work
maybe
for
one of those,
Activision
like,
now?
VR, like, because they have those where it's like not just VR and you stand in a spot, but like those VR, but you're in a warehouse and you move around.
Yeah,
No, I was not aware of this.
that's the thing.
Yeah, I've actually seen people, like I know somebody who worked for one. That was their thing.
I don't.
Was setting that up.
Do you
for
know if the
people.
one that's in Oak Brook, I think it was called Sandbox, does that still exist, or did they close?
I'd have to look, and I got a real clackety keyboard at this desk, so I can't
Yeah,
do it right now.
but it's just a warehouse, and everybody like puts on their VR gear, and they put you in the middle, and you pray you don't run into anything or each other.
But you're shooting. It's if you imagine laser tag, but with VR. So you still are like running around, hiding behind walls. It just looks real different because you're in VR, but you're still like shooting at people. So if you did like Call of Duty Ghosts, that's what you would probably do for that section. But it's just like it just feels so weird that it would just be so gun heavy.
Yeah, everything would be gun heavy.
So it's like, is this a theme park for adults?
Yeah,
I mean, the games are rated M, right? Not.
Yeah,
not that
I guess
it's
that's true too.
Ever stopped anybody from buying a game? But
well, wait, maybe the first couple could
No,
have
they
been,
still are.
Could have been T. I don't remember how much blood was in the original Call of Duty game.
let's see.
Hey, Getty.
I've played exactly what
Sandbox
Call of Duty.
Oakbrook does still exist.
It does still exist, so that's
Yep.
that's where you would go if you want one of those immersive VR experiences.
All right, Getty.
Okay.
The first 3 Call of Duty games are rated team.
That's what I thought. Okay,
Because they were historically accurate. You could learn from
so am I. Think about that.
Yep.
All right,
So yeah, they passed on this. This is all done. So, but it was an idea in the works, and I thought that was interesting.
fantastic.
And a fun conversation.
I just can't even wrap my mind around it. I hope that somebody was like, "We need a lot of guns for this, wouldn't we?" And somebody else is like, "Maybe not a great idea." And that's where it ended. But
Giant paintball arena.
It would be great for like Florida.
Lenovo announces the Legion Go. Is this a mobile?
This is
Game.
there have been like Steam Deck competitors, and Steam Deck wasn't even the first to market.
No.
They had these before. This is the Lenovo Legion brand, and I have a Legion PC. I don't love it. I have all sorts of problems with it.
Wait, is this the one that crashed midstream last week or the week before?
Well, you could say yes to both because it did.
Oh.
Oh.
So, and that's after I've sent it in.
Hey,
for them to
Lenovo.
refurbish the entire thing.
Fix Alex's stuff, please.
Well, it doesn't matter. The conversation though is that these are like the handhelds that are trying to be Steam Deck compatible. This was brought to me by my big brother Phil. He got the Steam Deck, loves the Steam Deck, has way too many kids. Someone whipped something across his house. Now he's got a nice little chip in the front of his screen deck. His Steam Deck.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, oh, that's brutal. So he's like, yeah, so I'm thinking about one of these Lenovo,
Yeah, but the Legion Go is $700. It's
American?
American.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty up there. They had just announced it, so I didn't know if that, I didn't know there was a price on it already.
There's a price. 2 models, 700 and 750, and the difference is 512 gigs of storage.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's a little much. People do like the I think the Asus one.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have the real slick UI of it. It's just got a Windows UI, and so that's a little trickier to it's a little sluggish. But it's still again plays just as good as the Steam Deck, not a little bit better.
Alex, you got some kind of deal with Blizzard going on? Because there's a lot of Blizzard news this week. You got Activision, Overwatch, Diablo. Anything you want to tell us, bud?
Well, none of these things are. Well, half of these things aren't good. So it's I don't know.
I don't know,
if
man.
I'm really
You could be taking the paycheck under the counter. Overwatch League is over. Oh,
Watch.
I hate to hear that.
Two. Overwatch 2. Yeah, they canceled when the esports was at the hottest. Overwatch started their own specific league.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to fit into any other league and decided ours is going to be just Overwatch and Overwatch accessories. It's a joke from the intro. It's a callback.
If you have to explain it, we did it wrong.
Yeah. So, but they have since canceled it. They say they still have esports plans. But as of right now, all teams have been removed and
disbanded.
there's no longer an Overwatch League. Yeah. Joel, do you feel like this is any kind of word into where the state of Overwatch as it is today? Or do you think that there's still a bright future for Overwatch 2?
It'll exist. I mean,
Do you think that they're stagnating? Do you think they're having problems over there or what?
I don't think there's any meaningful growth. Let's put it that way. The Overwatch community, 2 did what it was supposed to in that I think it gave Overwatch a bump when the first series had been sort of languishing for a while. Everything that I've gleaned is that most people who play it actively hate play it. Okay. They play it because it's their game, but more or less have distaste for a lot of different changes. I mean, there's also a distinction between Overwatch League and Overwatch the game, right? Because I actually think some of the changes in the gameplay were kind of smart, but the infrastructure of a league, I always kind of found it weird, the idea of watching other people play Overwatch. I don't know about you guys, but a team-based game like that, where every character has different function or ability, it always seemed kind of tough to follow in a fun way to me.
I disagree, but at the same time, I also couldn't follow how it was filmed.
I have something I want to say about it. So, Joel, are you specifically talking about the fact that everybody plays a different role, or everybody could switch at any point in time, and it was just all over the place, kind of?
I should clarify. It's the latter. It's just that it's sort of all over the place. I don't necessarily think the announcers were able to even keep up with it.
Yeah, because
they could have.
The people can change on the fly.
Yeah.
But what's really fun to watch in that arena? Counter-Strike.
CSGO.
CS, 100%.
And people really like that Counter-Strike too.
It's that's what I hear. Alex is gonna join a league. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, if I'm not.
Is that what you're calling our league that we're gonna make? Hell yeah, Gaddy, let's do it.
I don't know if we should. I don't want to make anybody cry. There's too many kids out there.
I only want to make people cry, Gaddy. Let's go.
Can we rename it to the Boomer Zoomers?
Oh man, but we're not boomers, and we very rarely zoomer.
Oh well. I guess we'll just have to find a much better name than that. Next one up. Hellboy, Web of Weird.
Word.
Weird.
I found out it was Word.
Hellboy, Web of Word was pushed back from October 4th to October 18th. So yesterday to like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, we have a review in progress that's currently happening, which is the same thing as what review in progress means. But at the one thing I will say is that there wasn't any real like explanation for it, but there is a patch going out right now. Mm-hmm. So something must have been really kind of hindering, and you only get to release a game once. I will say that this is not the first of this kind. WrestleQuest, which we played for this podcast, also had a day one like, holy crap, no, we're pushing this back 2 weeks. So this is not the first of this kind, and it's probably not a bad thing. Again, we've seen so many like, hey, game was released, hey, game is completely broken. Right now there's a new game that was just released called Lamplighters League, and it's kind of like an XCOM style game, and people were hyped on it, and day one broken.
Can you
Payday 3?
Yeah.
First week unplayable, I'm told. So it's one of those things that you can only release once, and you can only get the headline, hey, this game's pretty good. So if your first day the headline is this game is broken, you can't get rid of that.
Unless you're CD Projekt Red, who didn't devote years of time fixing a game in cyber.
Yeah, and
active support is supposed to be ending soon.
Or Bethesda.
I read somewhere that they spent something to the tune of $140 million through the process of retooling that game.
And I don't even call it retooling. They took from like the ground up a lot. They redid so much stuff. Like that's new now. No Man's Sky level.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, they call it 2.0. It's an entire different thing.
Alex,
well, I'm not saying a different thing in this conversation. I'm saying is that that's what it takes.
What
is going like ground up retool.
So when do we hit 2.0?
Never.
Well, we got to hit rock bottom first.
Great. We're
Joke's on you. Yeah, we already are. Alex, real quick, can you call it a XCOM-esque? When you call it an XCOM-y, it sounds a little bit, like something else.
I thought I said XCOM-like.
You said XCOM-y.
Maybe my words slurred. I'm on beer number 2.
Is that a regular beer, or is it a... No?
I don't drink a lot, Getty. Not anymore.
This is my second Coors Light, and I am wasted. Next one up.
I was going to put something in the notes, too. Oh, I remember. Okay, good.
No, I don't like that. Diablo 4 coming to Steam. Dang.
So the reason this is interesting is because if people want to get it on that Steam Deck, look it up.
So you don't have to buy it on the Blizzard app.
Yep, because that thing sucks. No one likes Battle.net.
Next one, Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core.
Joel, did you see what I was writing, or did you just remember that too?
No, I was just writing the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, no, because anyways, Alec, tell us about Rogue Core.
So it is a new game coming out from Ghost Ship Games, Deep Rock Rogue Core. You're a team of 4 dwarves, as per Deep Rock Galactic standard mode, but this time you're going to liberate a lost mining vessel, their lost mining structure deep in Hoxie's, and it is a roguelite.
Which is kind of more up your alley, like as well,
yes.
Right?
And it's going to be co-op, so the whole thing is co-op first. So I'm looking forward to it.
Alec, why have you not reached out and made friends with these developers?
Because I'm a coward.
He's busy. He's got a family, man. Leave this guy alone.
That's not the reason. That's not the reason.
No, it's because I'm a coward.
I don't like that response at all.
Nope. What are we going to do with you? Alec, we got to get on the horn with them.
Yeah, we should.
On the horn. You going to call them up?
Yeah, give me the email.
Give me their email. You got their email?
All right.
Cool. Thank you. Next. Getty, hit him. Because I win
Win what?
everything. Respect.
No, you don't have that. Alex is going to pronounce the character from Square Enix's Final Fantasy VII for you. Alex?
It's Kate Sith. It's Kate Sith. It's Kate Sith. I knew it the entire time.
Katie Sloth is what he put into our chat the other day.
No, it's Kate Sith.
I pronounce it character that stays out of my party.
Oh,
Snap.
ouch.
His name's Kate Sith. Yeah, but Joel, you pronounce it Kate Sith.
Yeah, and
Square Enix announced
Joel's not wrong.
It's pronounced Kate Sith.
You can give me
Not Cat Sith, guys. Not Cat
you
Sith.
can give me
'cause as what you
Yuffie
guys said,
any day of the week.
You guys said that the pronunciation was Cat Sith, and you were wrong.
Fine. Did you call her Aerith or Eris?
Bull.
He's never wrong, so remember that.
I didn't say I was never wrong. I'm saying I'm right this one time. This
I'm not
one
sure I'm willing to
specific time.
concede that.
Nope.
This one specific time is all that matters.
Well, unfortunately, we've got to move on to the best
hey,
part.
I'm still willing to succeed to see that the Borderlands movie will come out.
Moving on to the best part of the whole podcast. That's right, freebies. Alex, do you do the freebie thing? Alex, do the freebie thing.
Freebies!
Do the freebies. Yeah, freebies.
Freebies.
Freebies!
Joel, how much do you hate this?
There we go.
Very.
Okay, good. Then I'm happy.
Oh, ooh,
Freebies.
I found it.
Freebies for
There
this
it is.
week. First one up.
Hit me.
We got the trolley dilemma. Is it supposed to be dilemma? Dilemma?
It's Dilemma.
Trolley dilemma.
Yeah, it's Dilemma. Now, hey, Joel, do you know the trolley dilemma? The train dilemma?
I was hoping that's what this was.
Yes, it is. It's drawn like stick figures, and you have a train going down the track, and you have to direct the train away from victims or pick which victim it will kill. That's kind of the game.
I like the comic where they, instead of choosing, they do like a Tokyo drift across the two different lanes.
That movie rules.
Add to life.
But now, yeah, that's the Train Dilemma is a game where but it's also drawn like stick figures. It's drawn like a child draw it. It's pretty cool. It looks pretty funny.
And man, children are dark. They probably hit all the kids every time.
Oh, every time.
Next one up. Moon Ring.
It looks a little like it's like the same using the Undertale engine, a dark fantasy turn-based retro fusion. Wow, that's a lot of adjectives. A dark fantasy turn-based retro fusion of classic turn-based RPGs and roguelikes. It's a lot. It's like a lot.
Yeah, this looks like an old PC RPG.
But it's still like it does look very heavily on the like. First off, it looks like it's cribbing a little bit of Crypt of the Necrodancer with like art from like Undertale and other things like unique neon aesthetic.
They do that tile grid map thing.
Yeah,
Other things.
on a rhythm. It looks like. Yeah, this is a lot. It's a lot, but so it's called Moon Ring on Steam.
Moon Ring.
A free game
Came out
by
this
the
year.
co-creator of the Xbox's Fable series.
Oh yeah, Peter Molyneux. Is that the Moon Ring or
Yeah.
no? That's Moon
Yeah.
Ring.
Is it?
I don't,
That's the one? Okay, yeah.
I don't see Peter Molyneux.
No, wait, that's not.
But
It's not Molyneux. It's the other guy.
He knows everybody.
It's not.
Don't
Molyneux,
question
it's the
it.
other guy. Who fed you that load of Molyneux? Dane Carter.
We don't do pronunciations here, so you're fine. Disney Speedstorm over on the Epic Game Store.
Texting this to Kelly. Would you like to play Mario Kart but hate all the Mario Kart characters? Hate them all. Get into Disney. Disney Speedstorm. Want to be Jasmine and then send out a ghost. What was the tiger's name?
Raja.
Send out a ghost Raja at your enemies. Be Mike Wazowski. given finger guns. Jafar, lots of other characters. I saw Hercules. He's pretty cool. Disney Speedstorm on the Epic Game Store.
Last one. Godlike Burger on the Epic Game Store.
In Godlike Burger, you run the craziest restaurant in the galaxy. Stun, poison, and kill your
Yeah, kill your customers.
Okay, stun, poison, and kill your customers in many devious ways and turn them into burger meat.
Yep.
Sweeney Todd. It's a Sweeney Todd situation there. And don't worry, alien customers will keep coming if you are smart about it, because cannibalism is just too damn tasty.
Get it?
Godlike burgers. Godlike burger.
Godlike Burger.
Yum.
Yeah, that one took a real, it took a turn. Cook, kill, and manage.
Well,
Yeah, that's not.
didn't happen again this
Wow,
week.
yeah, no, this. Hold on, I'm sorry, Getty. I'm watching footage. This is kind of cool. They're hacking people up with hacksaws and then laying traps and blowing them to pieces.
Hey,
This is gory.
maybe don't let the kids play that one.
Yeah, don't play a godlike burger in front of your kids.
So it's what you're streaming, right?
Maybe. I mean, it's an Epic Game Store freebie, so yes, I already played my game. So
It's free.
My collection.
Okay, yeah, we didn't do it again this week, but maybe next week we can trick Alex into slow jamming the news.
All right.
Let's take a break. Hey, we're back. The backlog blog has been hijacked, and unfortunately we couldn't pay Destiny's Child for the Survivor theme, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Subnautica. Hey,
I'm going to say that, hot take, I think that Destiny's Child, there was a lot better of those kind of groups. SWV was far.
so that's
TLC one of those?
Yeah, that's not what this was about. I was talking about survival games. Thank you, Alex.
I just wanted to make my stance on Destiny's Child very
Somewhere
clear. I
right
like
now,
Beyonce, but
she's cursing your name.
No, I don't think she is, because I think that she's much more successful as a solo artist.
She's cursing your name.
Man, did you listen to Lemonade?
She
No.
needed.
That was
she
real
needed.
deep. Lemonade was real deep.
All right.
There was
Was
a
it?
lot going on in Lemonade.
Let's
Oh,
calm it
yeah.
down. Let's calm it down.
We'll talk, Joel. Let's
This
talk
is
off air.
homework time. Homework time.
So,
So Subnautica.
Subnautica.
You doing this? You don't need me?
I'll make the attempt.
Okay.
Feel free to.
It's not like this is like the fourth or fifth time we've done this.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting we're supposed to have a formatted thing to this. So
It's a format that you make up.
yeah. Well, so Subnautica. Back when we announced this, you may have remembered that there was a certain submarine implosion that happened.
Oh, yeah.
That happened
Okay.
around
yeah.
the same time.
I forgot about
And
that.
at
I
that
didn't.
point, besides a lot of people laughing at the misfortune of the wealthy for that,
He the rich.
Dave the Diver was sort of the indie darling that got buoyed by some of this, right?
I don't know if it did, but I know that game is still hot.
Yeah.
People still really like Dave the Diver. I gotta go into it.
So, admittedly, that did kind of tint my choice a little bit on video game homework. I already had it
I mean, it's
on.
inspired by current events.
Yep, very topical. But that said, we also all know somebody who had highly recommended this game. Said that he had dumped a ton of hours into it. It's something that I had tried to pick up several years ago, but I find a lot of times that playing first-person games that aren't shooters, I don't always love, just because I don't think they capture the motion very well. Sometimes it feels like you're not doing all that interesting stuff. And this game, like other survival games, I assume, start you off very dated and very slow.
Yeah.
And I'm taking it from what you've talked about, Alex, that that's sort of a normal starting point for these types of survival games.
Yeah, and for me, they live and die by how fast it feels like I'm like picking it up, moving around, like okay, and you get like you. One of the things you had told me was every time I get a discovery, it just opens up, like a whole lot of the game. That is the sign of a good one, but there are plenty that don't.
Okay, all right.
So that is like that is a sign of a good one.
Okay, yeah, and I think, Alec, you had a similar experience to me starting out with this. I know I struggled to really get the gears churning.
Yeah, it was a struggle the whole way for me. I'm not a fan of survival genre.
Makes you nervous.
Makes me nervous, and then once I get over the nerves, the fear of dying, and how far back that's actually going to set me, it becomes dealing with inventory management, especially when with non-stackable items, is just the worst.
That easy big complaint starting out. You've got one storage locker, and then you've got the space on hand.
Your inventory, your on-person inventory.
And that's it. And you have to scrounge little materials to build just these basic tools. But you want
a cheat code?
No.
Throw it on the ground.
You can throw it on the ground.
Guess where all my empty batteries went. I have littered the ocean with microplastics and battery acid.
Oh man, you're just killing the environment.
You're a walking red flag. Oh no.
Oh, it's an alien planet. It's fine. It's not Earth, as far as I know.
I want you to know brutal. That being that the industry,
twist ending,
the industry that I'm in, everything that you just said terrifies me.
Hazardous goods.
Yes.
Also, Joel, twist ending. It was Earth all along.
Say it went all Planet of the Apes on me here.
Yeah.
So, my main impression, from the first couple hours was kind of Alex. I thought I made a big mistake choosing this game. I'm in for a big grind that's not going to be fun. And it definitely starts that way. But, and I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts, but when the game truly first opened up for me, you finally get the materials to build like a hand-carried, propeller.
The scanner? Oh, that one.
The propeller.
No, the propeller.
The
little mini, it's scooting you forward faster.
Yeah. Faster speed, has a built-in flashlight. From a motion standpoint, that was the game changer for me. Definitely the scanner is a very important piece to all of it because you have to scan things to get new blueprints. You find wreckage pieces where you scan materials and it helps get you those blueprints. I'd be interested to hear from you, Daddy, from a story standpoint, what you gleaned from it. Or I know that you like Destiny, and that has like the grimoire stuff where it piecemeals out story. So I'd be interested to hear what you felt about that.
So it's good in that regard because you really have to pay attention to everything that's happening around you. If you don't go and, there's the SOS device that after you repair it, you're able to get more information, and you're also getting messages. And it's just feeding it to you little by little, like, oh, there's a crash over here. I like that. This is very dense when it comes to those kind of things, though. I'm surprised that you guys didn't do a little bit of homework before you jumped right into it. Games like this, I feel like you have to do at least a little bit to figure out what quick start information you need, because they're not going to be as helpful if they don't have to. No. It's survival.
And, Getty, what was your first one of these?
First one of these? Jeez, it was probably I don't know if I would qualify it the same, because the first time I played a game that had survival elements was a Fallout. I tried to do like the realistic survival mode of Fallout, New Vegas.
Okay. But I mean, what was it like, the base building, or like you're exploring and you're crafting a crafting table, et cetera, et cetera? Like, what was your like first one of those?
It would have been Elder Scrolls. Again, but I don't consider it the same as this. But it's they've eliminated some of the more ridiculous elements from it and made it much more grounded and realistic when it comes to survival. But when it comes to like the base building stuff, I was always like, you give me the option to do it in a game, I'm going to spend the time to do it because it's there. I didn't have to, but I'm gonna.
I remember playing Don't Starve with Brok. And I'd played it a little bit before, but that is definitely a very similar kind of idea where you're like, oh, you craft this thing, and then that gives you the ability to make this other thing, which will, in the long term, make it so that you can get this other recipe to craft this other thing, and you get this other resource. It builds upon itself in a way that, like, I felt like Don't Starve, it never felt like it gave me, like, a huge bump every time I felt like I was fighting and clawing for every single upgrade. And here I felt like once that feeling of unlocking something, then it's massive. You know what I mean?
There's also a sense of how important enjoying exploration in this game is. To your point, there are survival games of different shapes and sizes. Don't Starve was sort of an isometric, top-down-ish kind of affair, right?
Like illustrated.
Right,
yeah.
Right, where this is a 3D space, you're dealing with moving in lots of depths, caves. If you go towards that big ship that fell, you can sort of explore the wreckage in that area.
Yeah,
and that's a whole other cool segment to be floating around in. I don't know if you guys got to the point, but
until the giant monster just like comes out of nowhere and he's like, "Hey guys," and I'm like, "No."
Yeah, like, just smack the crap out of you.
There are some dick monsters in this. Like, you'll just be swimming along and then something will like slap you and you're like, "Hey, don't be a dick, man." But then that thing is no chill whatsoever.
When I first got to like the weird swordfish in the weird like forest of like, the weird things you have to cut with a knife. Yeah, those things stabbed the crap out of me. And just for reference, like things like Rust, Ark Survive, I've played those. No Man's Sky. Originally, No Man's Sky was that. The Forest. There's a lot of.
I've always wanted to play The Forest, but I also
that one's very
I don't
spooky.
hate myself that much.
But the idea is still the same: is that you wake up in this space. Go get 2 sticks and a rock, and then you make a mallet, and then use that to chop down trees to make wood, to make a house, etc., etc. And a lot of them, again, feel like it's just too slow for me. And in this case, I don't do the Getty thing where I do the pre-research, but I know for a fact that the model for these games is, they give you a list of things to craft, so craft everything. Then you'll find a way to use that to craft the next set of things, and then the next set of things, and the next set, and it builds on that. So whenever I would explore and I was like, okay, I'm going to look around for a bunch of stuff, and I'd find a bunch of stuff, but I'm like, what am I missing? I'm missing this one thing. How do I? And then I would look up a wiki to find where's that one thing.
It's kind of what it is. You have to try and build everything. But in this one, I think I played 5 minutes. I was like, oh, you're not going to be helpful at all. So I was like, all right, hold on a second. I went onto the Steam forums, which is a very dangerous place. Do not go there unattended. And I found one that's like, hey, here's 6 quick things that you need to know about Subnautica if you're going to play. And one of them was like, water. Very hard to come by, even though it's all around you. Water everywhere, not a drop to drink.
Yep.
And so it's like, look for this. Or make sure that you're picking up just about everything. But to Alex's credit, like, here's your bonus storage place. Just throw it on the ground. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that I figured out on my own because I kept like I would get something and I'd be like, I got a whole bunch of like whatever, what is it? What is the main mineral that's like the first? Oh, scrap.
Scrap metal.
Yeah, just
It's like, oh,
And it
scrap.
can take
and
up
it's
a lot
like
of space.
thousands of it. And I was like, no, throw it on the ground. I would just throw it out of they would say like drag it out of your inventory, and I would just drag it, and then I just kept coming back to my ship, and I would look on the ground and be like, there's a lot of scrap on the floor.
Yeah, but that stuff, when you break it down to titanium, it becomes very helpful for base building.
Yes.
And the light.
Yes.
But to your point,
But you can't break it down to titanium until later. Because,
Yeah.
again, you build and build and move to the next thing and move to the next thing until you have the ability to do that.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying is that, like, I knew the formula, so, like, I know you guys had a tough time, but me and Getty were, like, both, like, we were pretty much, like, ready to go, like, okay. And then, like, Getty's like, I've already paid, like, 5 hours, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much the same. Where we at? What are you doing? Oh, yeah, I figured this out. The main thing for me was that one of the things, it's like, build a knife, and I'm like, why would I build a knife? I'm not fighting those swordfish
So
things.
you
They're
can cut down
poking
the
me.
creeper vines.
Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. And that was the one where I was like, I can't figure out this one material I'm missing. What do I do? And it goes,
Coral.
use the knife to cut the creeper vines. And I'm like,
Coral.
okay, or the coral. Yeah, I said, if you go at the coral from using the knife. And I was like, okay, that's why you craft the knife. Which already, I know the formula, but that one was the one I was kind of fighting the formula, where I was like, I'm not going to build a knife because there's no reason to build a knife.
A knife is such a helpful thing to have, though. Think of all the things you could use it for, Alex.
I found it for those two things.
Oh man, there was the gas pots too that you could get off of the big seal, or not seal, but whale-looking things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was automatic. If you had the knife in your inventory, it would automatically do it. And that's kind of one of those things as well, is that, like, I didn't need to equip it, so I didn't even think about it. But you still needed to... But again, the formula. You craft everything, and then you can continue. And I fought it on that one thing, because I'm an idiot at that time. But
I'm also in club. Don't look anything up before you start. I tend to want to try first just to see if I can figure it out on my own, or at least figure the treadmill that they're going for, and then if I get stuck, eventually get into that threshold of fine, I'll look it up. But you get to a point pretty quickly in this game where it is not blatantly obvious where the materials are. It's like a good 3 or 4 materials are just going to be from, like, limestone rocks you break up as you walk around or float around the sort of shelf. You got a material, I forget the name of it, where, like, you got to bait out this monster from its shell.
Oh, the cave
sulfur?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cave sulfur. Yeah, and it's not something you use a lot of, but, like, the one time you did, I forgot where it was, and you end up sort of, like, searching around these caves, and I just sort of stumbled upon it on accident when I got done getting chased out. But
You know, the thing exploded on you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it did.
explode.
yeah,
Killed me.
It isn't until you get the little movable pod that you can actually get away from them fast enough.
right.
Because I was taking the hit every time.
I guess maybe a good point to move from now would be maybe we just share where we sort of left off or where we stopped at prior to this conversation. Like, what had been going on in your experience? What had you gotten accomplished up to that point?
I was alive.
Do you want to... I would think that Alec...
Yeah, why don't you start?
Alec, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think I got the least far. I kind of boxed myself into a corner. I kept making titanium ore instead of building more chests. So I ran out of space, and I ran out of scrap I could easily find, and I had built batteries, I'd built chips. I just, had the knife and kind of
Did you run out of stuff or
ran out of stuff I could find, yeah.
And I did read somewhere, like, you can overfish certain areas, I guess, and the populations will diminish in that area. So it's interesting how they accounted for that kind of ecosystem too.
So wait, did you look for more scrap near the big ship?
Yeah, I got to the point where I had smelted it because it's 10 titanium ore.
You turned them
makes
into
the
ingots,
titanium
didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and I'm not sure what
Pick
all
a different direction. pick a different direction.
Yeah.
Is there a way to break down the ingots back into titanium? Do you know?
I didn't find a way.
Okay, because I never found one either. I'm going to take a guess that Alex is the next one in terms of distance.
I kind of went to a point where I got to where Getty, like, I kind of was like, I was like trying to like, okay, Getty, where you at? And then once he like, okay, I'm kind of done. I'm here. And I was like, okay, then I'll just stop there, which is where the base building comes into play.
Yeah.
I had already gotten a solo sub, not the little handheld thing, but the actual submarine, like I got into. And that was a fun device because it was like I went to the big ship and I got on and I started like exploring and looking at all the rooms and stuff like that. But it was kind of funny. When you hop out, it kind of doesn't stop. So I would just hop out, look to my left, and just see it smack into a wall.
Yep.
So that was pretty fun. I started the base building and I got to the point like I built a base. Kind of. I built a base. It was very nice. It was a very nice base. Except for I needed a door.
Mm-hmm.
And the door was like, okay, you need this item. And I looked at the recipe for that item, and it was build this thing, then build 5 more things, then also gather these other things, and then you can build a door. And I was like, okay, that's another 2 hours. So I said, okay. Like, not that there was anything like that. I really liked my time with this game. I really liked the loop. I liked the water. I stopped being afraid of at nighttime and just started being afraid of the big ship. So nighttime stopped being scary to me. It just kind of came whatever. But I just also know that it's like if I'm not going to put another like 30 hours into this, I'm going to just stop right here because I think this is a good point. So that's where I stopped.
Okay. I'm going to take a stab in the dark and guess that Getty got the farthest out of us, so I'll...
No.
No? All right, go ahead.
Base building.
Spent
like...
Yeah.
I got to the point
that's what
where...
I'm saying. I stopped when
I got to the point where I could build a base, and then I was like, I'm going to build this. I'm going to build this. I'm going to build this. So I had double-decker. I had to reinforce my platform, and I was like, oh, I got a vending machine. I got like 5 chests. I got all this other stuff. Yeah, I'm good. I was like, I think I just live here now. And then I was like, I don't think that I need to do anything else. I found some of the funnier recipes that I never really got to make because I was like, well, this is going to take a while if I'm going to really invest in it. But, you know, you start to get stuff that you wouldn't expect, like making a fire extinguisher, taking it with you, and getting into that big ship. And then I was like, there's just so much to do. I'll just go back to my base and hang out.
Yeah, I definitely had the fire extinguisher recipe and like a computer desk recipe, and I was like, this is a little, come on. Like, which that is actually, again, very common. When you get to the point in the survival game where it's like, oh, now decorate your house, that's usually where I cut out as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, buy a couch. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
What's next? You know what I mean? And that's where like I started to get there as well, and I got those recipes, and I was like, no, thank you.
Alex, I'm going to tell you right now.
Continue.
Skyrim, when it was like, you can make a mannequin to put your armor on, I was like, how many mannequins can I make?
No.
And then I decorated them, of course.
Again, I had a one-night love affair with Minecraft where me and my partner was like, we had a few drinks and some other stuff going on, and we blacked out into a 6-hour session of Minecraft designing a double-decker floating castle that had a lava fall on one side and a waterfall on the other, and we were on our 3rd porch garden. And I was like, it is 4 a.m. We need to stop now. We've been going for 6 hours. And so like that's where I'm like, I've decorated a house. I've done it before in a game. I'm just not going to do it now.
Right. No, I'm sort of left off where you guys did. I got to the base building. I built a ramshackle one that allowed me to have a scanner. The standard's very nice. Does it?
Did you got the door? You got the door.
I must have, but I didn't think that
You
it was
mean
a special
just to
action
get into it, Alex? Are you talking about something?
Yeah,
else?
you can't I couldn't like make a house that just had an open wall. They all like closed off, and you had to make a door to get in.
So did you have any of the rooms that were more like a central hub kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay, because there's like a multi-purpose room, and then there's a standard room. What I did was I built the foundation, put the standard room on top, and then just put like a port piece on the side of that, and then it had like a turnstile door.
Yeah.
Like you'd see in a
But that's
submarine.
what I mean, the port piece. is
Really?
what I
Okay.
needed.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember the ingredients for that, but you're not wrong. Unless it's a common material, every time you go searching is probably a good 20 or 30-minute expedition to go find that stuff, and that's if you really know what you're doing.
And I've been grinding out a bunch of stuff that I just wasn't using. So then it was like, oh, you can now build a house, and I was like, great. And I built like 5 pieces, and I was like, great, but I can't enter it. Cool, I'm gonna go do something.
Yep, and then you have to count for air, electricity.
Oh, is that a thing? You got to power.
You got to power
it.
it. You have a solar panel.
Solar
You can,
panels and
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So that's where I stopped. I will probably continue playing, just because I'm still curious to see what more there is to it that I haven't seen. But my challenge with these types of games normally is just the amount of time it demands of you. It's so much to get anywhere meaningful, and
It's got to be your game.
yeah, that's just it. And I think I'm in a position where I can put a handful of hours in a week. But it's like, okay, I'm going to put these other games aside and really dip into this.
Yeah. There was Astroneer. I put like a good 15 hours into.
Okay.
That was a fun one.
But yeah, the only thing I have to add is that I saw a rescue ship get shot out of the sky by some weird alien obelisk.
That's cool. I did not see that. Did
No.
you get that?
They give you some sort of radio signal and a beacon at some point with the ship saying, we will be there in T-minus 30 minutes or something like that. It gives you a countdown and coordinates. The coordinates take you to an island, and right next to this island is just this large black obelisk that's sort of angled towards the sky, and they just get shot out of the sky. But there's also a purple tablet that acts as a door inside the place. It's broken, but if you scan it, you get blueprints for a new key. So it's I can tell at least where they're windowing you towards at some point, but it was just a very, very shocking turn of events, because I was not expecting space aliens.
I Googled it. I saw what happened. Mm-hmm. So I'm all I already saw, I was because I was after my time, I was I kind of want to see where this goes, and I saw where it goes, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. It's not it's super extreme, but at the same time, I'm that's kind of clever. I see where the game goes, and it's kind of silly, but I like it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it does. They do a good job. That game is done well. There's also a one in the Antarctic. The follow up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's supposed to be very good. I heard that one's a little scarier. So I could be wrong, but I was told that one's a little scarier. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Below zero.
Yeah,
Below zero.
that's
okay.
right.
But I'm told very good. Very good.
Let me tell you my biggest complaint about this game.
Yes.
There's no autosave.
No.
Correct.
So I had about 2 hours into it, and I had not saved. And my Steam Deck died overnight.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I was not thrilled.
Well,
This is a thing that happens.
Yep.
There's a couple of that's happened to me a couple times, not with this game, but with other games. The Steam Deck dying overnight. The Steam Deck battery life ain't great.
No, and I usually am pretty good about it, except I have to switch chargers around from one peripheral to another, and usually it's the Steam Deck is plugged in, and I didn't check the chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nope. No, I thought Subnautica as a loop, as a game overall, was pretty fun. I think that, like, again, I've played enough of these to know that, like, oh, some of these ain't great, some of these are not as fun. This one, I was like, I just kind of kept going. I blinked, and then I was like, Getty, where you at? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm here. And I'm like, okay, I'll stop. But I, like, willfully stopped. I didn't think it was still very good. So I think that Joel, I think this is a fantastic pick. It had been something I've been meaning to try for a while. Right at this point, we do the what do we give our video game homeworks?
Yup.
And a grade. Right, Getty?
Sure. If that's what you want to do.
No, that's usually what we do for every video game.
Who
homework.
wants to start?
We're gonna do it. Oh, is that what you were
Subnautica's
saying?
an A.
You want me to start?
Subnautica's an A for me. I wouldn't say it's S rank, but I won't say it's A plus, but I will say it is an A.
That's fair. I will give it I think I'll give it a B plus. I'm not a huge fan of the genre. I do like the aesthetic of it. It was fun at times, challenging at other times, but I didn't get sucked in as much as I probably could have. The base building, definitely spent too much time doing that. So maybe if I'd focused on other stuff, I would have enjoyed it more. But still, very solid game. I think anybody should try it, though. It's got some interesting stuff going on.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a C.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this genre at all. So it was hard for me to get pulled into it. But overall, I can see where it was going. I can see the reason why people do like this kind of game. It just is not my cup of tea.
That's okay.
Sorry, Alec.
It's okay.
I would give it an A minus. I'm sort of in line with what Getty said. This isn't my normal bailiwick of game genres, but it's a very well constructed gameplay loop. Once you get over that initial hump of figuring out what you're supposed to be doing, it feels a lot more natural. The deeper you go down into the water, the more interesting stuff happens. So it goes back to the wanting to continue to churn to get new stuff to get deeper in. And the base building stuff, it's a neat thing that I look forward to dipping into further. But I also think that if you played for 5 to 10 hours, you could be like Alex and Getty and say, okay, I'm good. You know, I think you can still get a good experience if you keep it limited.
Oh, yeah. You definitely can. Just pace yourself and don't be afraid to explore. The second that you're like, I'm not going down there, that's when you're gonna really limit your experience.
Well,
It's kind of funny that the game kind of like has this ability to come off as like a horror game because you could get into some like real spooky, jump scary kind of situations, but it really isn't. It really is just like once you start doing it enough times, you're just like, well, this is just the game. You know, it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I've done this enough times. It's not really that bad.
All right. So, successful video game homework? I think so.
Hell yeah.
whose turn is it next?
Mine.
Getty.
All right.
However, Halloween homework. And so the last couple of years, we picked some Halloween games that we played during the month of October so that we could dedicate an entire episode to a spoiler cast of that. So 2 years ago, remind me, we've done it. This will be our third year. This will be our fourth year.
I believe it's third year because first year was Amnesia.
And we did Amnesia, and then we played Resident Evil, the original. Well, we played Resident Evil last year. Most of us played the, remake version of it that was released a little bit later. And then this year, we are going to be playing The Walking Dead Season 1. So,
the
Telltale game. Which is picked because it is a horror game, but also because we want to experience something that we like to imagine is really high up there, or the pinnacle of whatever genre it might be. So that's one of the reasons why we picked first-person Amnesia, Resident Evil, staple game.
Something that like is iconic. Something that really like defined a piece of video game.
Well, and this game definitely did. It ushered in a big change into how adventure games were sort of formatted. It was the
which is so weird because they were doing these types of games for a long time, but The Walking Dead are what really made
choices matter, Alex.
It was the choices. They also ushered in like the whole episodes 1 through 5 kind of trend too. That's where the season 1, season 2 stuff comes into play, and that carried over all the way into the Life is Strange series.
Yeah.
So it was a long-standing impact to the approach people had. It was what turned Telltale into such a big name for a while, and it's what gave us The Wolf Among Us. So,
and will give us a sequel to The Wolf Among Us
next year.
It's gonna happen. So anyway, we are targeting. What are we targeting for our homework turn-in for Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1?
Well, we want that episode to come out by Halloween, and this is not even going to be This isn't going to be even a regular podcast episode.
I think
this will be a special Halloween episode.
We talked about the hour commitment, but I also feel like this is a more light and breezy affair than prior Halloween games we've done. I'd argue, I don't know, 2 weeks from now.
I can do that.
I mean, Alex, for your sake, this game is just basically like a short bit of looking around in areas, making choices, having quick time events. Like that.
Right.
That's all the game is. So,
I think I can manage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Football.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of the football score. Guys, the Bears look like they might win this week. It's a cause for celebration.
They have not won since 2020.
They have not won in the last
like 15, 16 games.
Yeah, something
like that.
Obscene.
But also that I was told that they have included a bunch of last year as well.
Yeah, that's why it's so long.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have a brief discussion off air too, because we got some other stuff coming up around when we want to hand that in. But please keep an ear open for our spoiler cast Halloween episode for Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1. And then we'll move.
And also not to ruin stuff, but also I would like to do a spoiler cast of Sea of Stars.
We'll talk about that.
That's
But just keep in mind, we are a month away from Extra Life. So get out there, support us if you are able to. If not, we would love if you could watch our live stream. We'll be going 24 hours on November 4th. So Extra Life, please support those kids. Now, we got one last thing for this week. One last thing. It's not brought to you by anything this week. Just, we're having a rough one here. We want to end this podcast on a positive note, so let's keep these nice and happy. All right, ready? I don't even see a smile from anybody, so I'm
sleepy.
I am so close to finishing Lies of P, and I did not even think or conceive some of the stuff that has happened in this game. It is wild.
I heard it gets wild.
It is so crazy. I don't even know what's going on.
I've also someone spoiled me the post-credit scene. It wasn't, I didn't search this out. Someone just randomly said it and I was like, "Oh crap," but also that's real dumb and kind of cool. So wait for the post-credit scene, man. You're up for
I
some
am
stuff.
ready to lose my mind. I'm 2 bosses away from the end. Alex, what do you got?
I'm dipping back into Final Fantasy. I'm going to start up The Walking Dead tonight. I am just hanging out, man. I'm enjoying myself. I'm stuck in Monster Hunter now. And so I'm just kind of like a little bit low-key frustrated with that.
Gotta grind.
That's what I have to do. You know what I'm not
Grinding.
doing? I'm not going to like
The park.
I have enough monster parts. It's more that I'm not going to like very specific like parks and locations.
Yeah, man.
You gotta hit those Pokestops.
Yeah, you got to get the Pokestops.
Yeah, so I have to, and they're not every the Pokestop aren't 1-to-1.
They're
No.
pretty up there, though.
They're not. There was one at the Rosemont Fountain near where I live on the corner, and there's nothing there. Nothing there. But I'm like taking my child to the park where I know the most
Monsters.
bone piles are. I don't need the monster parts. I have monster part grinded all day. I just need the
All
bone parts.
day. All
So-
right. Thank you. Joel?
I know we're going to touch on it at some point, but cartoon, really good. People should play it.
I hear 9.5 at Nintendo World Report by one Alex Rona.
Who's that?
Nobody knows.
I don't know, some weirdo.
Alec?
I'm gonna put now that we're done with Subnautica, I'm going to reopen Sea of Stars and wrap that bad boy up.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah,
I'm really
Gotta go
excited.
that true ending.
gotta go conch hunting.
That true ending. I don't know.
Alex, you're entitled to your incorrect opinion.
We'll talk about it.
We have a lot to talk about. All right, that'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays, much like tonight, we have a podcast that we live stream. You can stare at us while we stare at nothing. Maybe we stare at each other. Wednesdays, Joel will
Lion King.
play the Lion King.
Lion King.
Saturday,
Just Lion King.
Saturday, Lion King. Mondays,
You're really dedicated to Lion King. Monster hunting on Mondays. I'm hunting them monsters. And
are you
hanging
trying to
out
cut
and
me off so
enjoying
that I
my
don't
time.
read what I have written here?
No. Why?
Because I just want everybody to know that it's Monster Hunter and chill. Yeah, ladies, you can watch Alex swing around his big sword all night long.
I like that. I didn't actually think I wasn't looking.
Really?
That's pretty good.
Really? Tuesdays, Alex is now doing Skater XL? Are you still...
Okay. So Skater XL, the main version, normal version of the game, sucks right now. So everybody, as far as the like screaming community, is in the alpha build, and using different mods in the alpha build. So I got to restart from scratch on the alpha build. It's loading up mods left and right. So maybe this week we will see. Depends on me and actually wanting to put in the effort to start building up all the mods again and restarting and getting all my stats right and everything.
Okie dokie. Well, we'll see if that happens. We also have a review for Virgo versus the Zodiacs and the Cosmic... Oh, we have 2 reviews. And the Cosmic Wheel of Sisterhood on our site, superggradio.com. It's a real site.
Yeah.
Check it out. One of those reviews
Also-
is from Joel.
And one of those reviews from you. Also, Getty.
Also.
Keep reading.
Oh, keep reading? You sure? This last point here. That right there that you highlighted. Okay. Also, our 3... You have a full 3-day vlog?
It's 3 episodes.
3-episode vlog of Summer Game Fest is now live on our YouTube channel. Check it out. YouTube. That's
That
also
same
a
vlog
thing.
that saved Alex from being charged for a lamp or something.
Clock. Wasn't it a clock?
Clock. It was the clock.
It was a clock.
The fiasco of the missing clock. If you'd like to know more about that, email us. You know?
At mail@superggradio.com.
Otherwise, you know, you could always provide a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Except for, Google Podcasts?
Oh, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. Thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG Getty.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
Good game, Alec.
GG.